SMT Nation, we back. Nation, we got updates out of Verizon. The news center just got a few news stories. Let's go over them today here in this video. And since we do have multiple stories to cover, I'll be sure to provide you guys with video chapters. They're built into the timeline of the video, or you can find them in the description. Also in the description, the Real SMT Buy Me a Coffee link. Want to support your creators directly? Show your appreciation for all the content here on the channel. Buy us a coffee, link in the description. And if you're looking for a really good deal on wireless service, you can't beat it at Mint Mobile. Use our partner link, mintmobile.com/sneed. Take advantage of their great deals. I still see deflation promo pricing up and live. So take advantage of that offer, right? Get their legendary customer care and great value. All right, so for the Verizon updates, we've got several. All right, the first one is upgrades to Scranton's best network. Okay, so for those of you that are from the area, Scranton, Pennsylvania, you're getting large-scale upgrades. According to Verizon, you're getting the full trifecta of upgrades. This means you're getting the full suite of 5G Ultrawideband, which is composed of mmWave and C-band spectrum, and that's going to, increase the capacity in the area, provide better quality coverage. And with those upgrades now, 87% of people in the Scranton area have access to 5G from Verizon. All right, so this is a great update for those folks. Some of the regions most notable here: Forest City, surrounding areas in the northeast, Lackawanna, south central Wayne counties, western side of Harvey's Lake, as well as the Wilkes-Barre, Stroudsburg, Hazleton, and Bloomberg areas. Also added Mohegan, Sun Arena, and Wilkes-Barre. Okay, great. So the C-band bandwidth is coming in at 60 megahertz of spectrum. That's going to be, more than doubling here in short order as more and more C-band gets cleared. AT&T gets off their A block, and then Verizon gets the rest of their B block. So the bandwidth will continue to increase for C-band. And then additionally, you're getting fiber optic circuits getting upgraded as well. And typically what Verizon does is they move from a, low capacity circuit just because the need wasn't there when they had less spectrum. But now you got a lot of spectrum, so you got to go with 10 gig fiber. So that's going to be important to scale in this area. Okay, so that's great for those folks in Scranton. Remember, the Verizon network is a double dip network. It's a mobile network, and it's also a fixed wireless access 5G home internet network. So those folks that get the access to the mmWave, it's wireless fiber, and then for the folks with the C-band, probably a good enough option with a good enough price to compete with cable, DSL, or anything else that may be less than ideal. All right, so that's great for the folks of Scranton. Next, we got Harrisburg. All right, so I think we're keeping it in the PA area with this upgrade. Let's see what those folks are getting. They too are getting the trifecta, mmWave, and they're also getting C-band spectrum. Folks in this area, 87% of people now have access to Verizon's 5G service. The C-band bandwidth looks to be about the same, 60 megahertz, more to come as the clearance continues. And then the 10 gig fiber circuits, to carry all of that data is going to be important for this as well. With respect to the regions here that are identified, I see Camp Hill, Big Pine, Frogtown, majority of eastern Cumberland County, central and southern Dauphin County, northern York County, Lebanon County, and western Lancaster. Maybe Dennis knows a thing or two about these areas. He could chime in. Big shout out to Dennis. So Harrisburg getting the upgrades, and then we had Scranton previously. And then the third upgraded area of note here is Hampton Roads. Okay, now this one is interesting, and the reason why Hampton Roads, Virginia, I think, is one of those difficult areas to actually upgrade and network. It's very challenging. I'm not sure if it's a military component to it. I also think that just with between structures and zoning and permitting, things can be challenging. But I have heard that carriers struggle here. But I think Verizon does a decent job here. I think they've upgraded quite nicely in the past. So this brings more depth to the upgrades. All right, mmWave, they're getting that. They're getting the C-band upgrades as well, so that's great. 91% of people in Hampton Roads now have access to Verizon's 5G services. Areas including Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Newport News, Hampton, York County. How do we say this? Pocosin? Lynn Haven Mall, Greenbrier Shopping Area of Chesapeake, Peninsula Town Center in Hampton, NASA Langley Research Center, and Newport News City Center. All right, so those areas. The C-band coming in at 60 megahertz of spectrum. More to come in short order. And also they're getting the 10 gig fiber circuit treatment as well. So look, I don't know if you're in Hampton Roads. I don't know if you are in, Scranton or Harrisburg, but they're hitting you with these great upgrades. Millimeter wave on deck, C-band on deck with more spectrum to come, the 10 gig fiber circuits. You're talking about a dual purpose network here, right? So who knows, maybe Verizon can give you that $25, $35 price point for a home internet option. With the millimeter wave, that's absolutely incredible. With the C-band, still very good in a lot of instances. So comment down below if you're from these areas, what you think about all this and how you're going to proceed, maybe considering these options. All right, now the last one is a report on Verizon being recognized for exceptional performance and reliability across the U.S. So let's take a look here. It says Verizon's network is undefeated in almost 97% of the Metro Drive tests they performed in the first half of 2023. Undefeated in the category of network accessibility in 85% of the tests, and undefeated in 93% of the metro markets when it comes to network reliability. Okay, so the first half of 2023, taking 121 out of 125 metro market drive tests, Verizon showing incredible performance, accessibility, reliability in these places. No network is perfect. I think that is very important. There is no such thing as a perfect network. There's always going to be places where a network can falter, be less than great, or problematic even. But it's important to note here that on a national scale, when it comes to these metros, Verizon absolutely dominates. All right, so along with their recent upgrades, we're seeing now over 200 million points of presence for the C-band. That number is probably closer to 220 million pops, and we'll get disclosures on that very soon, along with probably, kicking it up a little bit more towards the end of the year, so that number continues to increase. Verizon is probably going to start getting back on the millimeter wave bandwagon, starting next year in metro areas, splitting cells, adding more sites, small cells, millimeter wave nodes, right? Getting more C-band cleared and scaling the upgrades on a national scale. The 10 gig fiber circuit continues to be the emphasis for these types of upgrades. Or you got to give the towers the juice. You got spectrum, need fiber, right? So they're being recognized here, folks, for their award-winning, network. And I'll be honest with you, T-Mobile has done a nice job of upgrading their network. They're starting to win some of these awards. They're starting to show their chops. AT&T has been winning state tests for a while now, with their FirstNet upgrades and their national expansion of modernizations and deployments. These carriers are doing a fine job, and this goes back to show you that the identity and the DNA of Verizon as a company is in the network. And now they've got the resources. Now they've got the spectrum to provide that capacity, and people can take advantage of it and enjoy the service, and of course, there's no company is perfect, right? Verizon's got troubles with customer care, in my opinion, and the retail experience. I don't think their plans are all that attractive. I don't think people know, where the value is within those plans. So clearly there's things for them to address, but the network piece is very good when it comes to drive testing, the scientific testing, and things of that nature. All right, so tell me what you guys think about all this. Hashtag Verizon, hashtag 5G, hashtag C-band, hashtag millimeter wave. Any of those will do. All the real ones know. But comment down below your thoughts and opinions on this. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard.